Welcome back to my channel, and let's just get started. Week 5 got extended into 2 weeks, and it was very rocky, bumpy. Now, I could have forced myself to stay on track with the timeline, but I think that I'm in this, and I get like this every now and then, but I don't stay there, right? I get into this space where I'm like, what the fuck is gonna happen if I don't stick to the timeline? Like, this isn't fucking school. You know, nobody's gonna get me in trouble. And half of the time that I do think that I could get in trouble, I'm already coming up with how I'm gonna fight. So what was week 5 even about? Week 5 is about recovering a sense of possibility. She's trying to help you come face to face with the payoff to remaining stuck, to remaining a blocked artist, to remaining a blocked witch, or aspects of your spirituality, your witchcraft, etc. And I insert that, even though she doesn't say witch or anything like that, but I say witch because the way you do one thing, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this already, but the way you do one thing is very much the way you do other things. So I have my handy dandy book right in front of me, and I wanted to read a couple of passages that I highlighted. I mean, I highlighted, hey, they match my nails. Summer colors, summer neon, baddie is what I was going for. Let's see. So this is a quote by Leo Tolstoy, and he uses the word God, but obviously you know how I feel about that word, so insert whatever works for you in order to receive the message or the medicine of this quote. It is within my power either to serve God or not to serve him. Serving him, I add to my own good and the good of the whole world. Not serving him, I forfeit my own good and deprive the world of that good, which was in my power to create. The reason I like this quote is not because I think that it is the all-encompassing truth. It's because of what it can prompt you to do. If you're someone who struggles with maybe ideology of, no, not ideology. If you're someone who struggles, if you're someone who struggles with feeling selfish, number one, work with the sin of greed. But if you're someone who struggles with that, or picking themselves or putting themselves first, then if you put it in the lens of doing it for that which you feel is greater than you, whether you call that God, spirit, universe, pick a deity, anything. I say in my spiritual counsel, I've said that before, but I'm gonna say it again just in case you don't remember. You can say your spiritual team. I know a lot of people like to use the word team. For me, I don't know, I didn't like the word team, so that's why I say spiritual counsel, but I digress. If you can say you're doing it for some being or beings that you feel deserve to be on the pedestal or deserve to be ahead of you or are bigger than you, or that you see as important as your best version, then maybe that's the motivation that gets you unstuck, that helps you choose yourself. So it's not a matter of finding out what's the most truthful thing. It's not about finding the ultimate truth in this case. It's more about how do you need to talk to yourself to coax yourself into improving yourself, into going after the things that you want, but for some reason you're not really thinking you deserve or you're ready for. That's the reason that I love this quote. Okay, I know there's other stuff here. Blah, 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 blah. An artist requires the upkeep of creative solitude. An artist requires the healing of time alone. And then I wrote in my notes at the top there, as a 12th house stellium, this is how I recharge. Nothing makes me happier after a long day of being out with other people than coming home to my space, this space that I've curated multiple times. Like, this room has gone through, I don't even know how many iterations. And every single time, I'm getting emotional talking about this. Every single time that I did a shift, I added a bookshelf, or several bookshelves in my case, that I added a table, that I bought drawers, that I changed out my bed, that I moved things around. Every single time I would get this like feeling of, not only are you living what your inner child or inner teen truly wanted to do. Oh my God. I can't show you guys, but my baby cat. I say baby cat because she's the youngest of the three, but she got inside the room and then turned around, looked outside the door, and got into like the whole like little lemur, like sitting on her hind legs, and like she's so fucking cute. This space is so sacred to me. It means so much to me, and I've always felt like deep gratitude and have always acknowledged this space, but it just put me into an even deeper level of gratitude for my space. Because it's been like my recovery cocoon for so many years. And I talked about capacity. I think this was in the last video, if not the video before that. No, I think it was in the last video. I talked about capacity to be able to do more of the things that you like, not more in the toxic productivity type of way, but more as in living your life more, as in living your life to the beat of your own drum more, living a more colorful, creative life. I surround myself with so much color, like you see my candles back there. A green one's missing because I used it. There's a yellow one that's over there because it's going to get charged for the summer solstice. Like, there's some missing candles, but I love to have all of the colors around me. I am specifically very colorful today. My hair stays with color. I try to do colorful makeup because it makes me want to live. I'm really not trying to mess up my makeup here. I think us wanting to live bigger, more beautiful, more colorful lives is sometimes something that we can only do when we're trying to honor people who are no longer with us. Oh man, this fucking makeup is gonna fucking go. I think I've talked about my godfather, my uncle that passed away on this channel before, but it was probably years ago, and I don't even know if that video is still up because, you know. But the reason that this is so emotional right now too is because I'm about to turn the age that he never got to see. Okay, I definitely need to do some more releasing once I'm done recording this video because it just wants to come out. And that's also something that I think I used to run away from when I was younger that I embrace so hardcore now. Yeah, I was the kid who never cried. You know, I was the kid that never cried. I was the teenager that never cried. I was just that cold-hearted, nothing affects me, you know, type of person. And as I've grown and as I've healed different parts of myself, I've seen how all of that pent up grief, sadness, tears, and release has been dying to come out. So I almost even try to provoke myself to cry just so I can, like, I feel like it's like a jar that's like full that needs to get emptied out, and every time that I release, more comes out, and I can like create space to actually bring more beautiful things into my life. But just in case that last part wasn't clear, my birthday is in September, and I'm going to be turning the age that my godfather, my uncle, never got to see. And that seems insane to me because I always knew that he died at a young age, but it didn't really hit me as hard as it did when I turned 35 last year. Because I knew that he had only, I think he was only 35 for like maybe a month or two max before he passed away. And so much of who I am, I heavily attribute to him. And I just feel like he would love to see the way that I do my makeup and how I have my hair and that I call myself a witch. I think he would be like, yes, you know? And that's what makes it so much, that's what makes it so beautiful, but also like it's bittersweet, you know? But anyways, I did not plan on talking about that at all. I was in the middle of reading things off to you guys, and I don't even know how we got here, but okay, I know there was something else that I wanted to read to you guys from here. Okay, I think this is the last quote I want to share. There's so many like good passages in here, and I write thoughts in the margins. And I date my thoughts now because I know since I'm on the second wave of the artist way, when I go back to do it the third or the fourth time or who knows when, I want to be able to distinguish my initial thoughts with the second round and then compare those to the third, the fourth, whatever. But anyways, this quote is by Leslie M. McIntyre. Nobody objects to a woman being a good writer or sculptor or geneticist if at the same time she manages to be a good wife, good mother, good looking, good tempered, well-groomed, and unaggressive. I'm just going to leave that there because there's not much else to share about that. I just thought like, yeah, and this quote makes sense inserted here because prior to this, she's talking about how we put what we need or we want to the side for the sake of making nice with others. And it results in resentment. And I don't think I'm putting this clip in because I'm trying to keep this video less like annoying to edit. But I did have a moment where in the middle of being as busy as I have been, specifically with things that are not mine, I would have thrown like a bitch fit. I would have been like, but that's not my thing, or that's not this, and that's not that, especially while doing the artist way when I have more tasks to do. And I didn't. I openly embraced that random thing thrown at me. And that's happened multiple times. Probably this entire year, some that really sat me on my ass for like even an entire month straight. That happened I think at the end of winter, which was insane, which I have not talked about. I have felt for so long that I wasn't contributing as much as I needed to because it wasn't looking like the way that they contribute or the way that society says that we should contribute. And then I realized, hold all the way the fuck up. I'm doing heavy spiritual lifting on the daily for myself, which also benefits them, but also for them. So how was that not me putting in my part? If anything, I'm doing overtime, babe. We have, been going through a lot of growth this year, a lot of growth. And it's funny because you always like, oh my God, I can't believe I used to think that. I can't believe I used to think that. I was so mature. And then a year passes and you're like, oh my God, I was so mature still. I'm sure that's going to continue to happen. I think that's the beauty of life, right? I don't know if I would call it beauty, but what else are you going to call it now? Let's see. So she goes again with the exercises and the tasks. She has us write out a lot of like our grievances and like really thinking about even more imaginary lives that we wish we could live, and to also think about how or ways that we can pull that in. Like that's constantly the theme. She just frames it in different ways and places them in the different weeks so that we're continuously visiting like aspects of the same thing, because she's really trying to pull that out of us. A lot of the times we don't want to think about what our big dreams are or about the things we really want to do are, because we know that it's going to get scary when we realize why we're not doing them, or we're going to get sad, or our moods are going to get fucked up if we visit them. But her doing this continuously is also a way of desensitizing us to those facts. Because if you've been, writing for like the 5th week in a row that you want to have a farm, for example, and all of a sudden you start seeing all these signs that lead to that, it starts feeling like it's coming to you at some like level, even if it's like a decade ahead or whatever that you'll have it. But it feels a lot more tangible. It feels like, okay, maybe it's not as hard as I thought. And then you start immersing yourself in the world. And the more you immerse yourself in a reality where that is the truth, the more you feel capable of also doing it, which makes it feel like you can start making moves towards it. So it's kind of like this starts happening, right? With like the thing actually coming to fruition, and then you and your magic, your power, and your ability to bring it to you. It's like they start meeting in the middle. Okay, I think that that's a long enough video. Week 5, 2 weeks long. I did my artist pages. My artist date, I did not talk about my artist date. So my artist date was actually here in my room, and I feel like that was okay. not okay as in it went okay, it went amazing, but as in it's okay that I did it in my room, because I was in the middle of moving my room and I still made time to do it, but also it was something that I had been wanting to do and pushing it off. And it has to do with using acrylic paints. I think I'm going to insert maybe some clips of that. So I have a project that I've been wanting to get off for a while now, or get off the ground. And it requires paint, and I keep the acrylic paint that I usually use on the regular in my room. But for some reason, my white went missing, so I decided to go hunting into my storage in the garage, and then I found this bucket full of old acrylic paint. And I'm like, I'm just sitting on a bunch of shit and not using it, and I'm done with that. So I'm going to try to revive some of these paints and use them for this project that I have going on, and we'll see what happens. But I definitely had to throw away like at least 6 different bottles of miscellaneous supplies due to the fact that I wasn't touching it, and that's gotta be stopped. I'm not going to show it to y'all, but I am right now in the middle of a painting session. I wanted to change the backdrop for my tarot videos where I only show my hands, and I was sick and tired of the gray slate background that I had been using, and it was also getting like, it started looking, you know, a little worn, a little used up. And then I also had like wax drippings on it because I like to have candles on when I'm doing my readings, and it just seemed like a cool, fun reason to get the paints out. I already talked to you about the debacle with the paints, so it had been a while. I do like to do very tiny micro projects in my room more than anything, and I'll stick to a lot of black. And that's why I only needed to have a handful of paints. And I love that I've been able to play with way more color now. And not necessarily in needing the color to be extremely loud, but just blending paint. I hadn't done that in a long, long time. And this is just feeling really good. Just kind of going with the flow. I have a very loose idea of what I want the end result to be, and I'm just letting myself go there. So this is what I would consider like my artist date this week, because I'm doing actual art, like an art project, first of all, even though I'm at my house, because this is not a normal thing for me. It's not something that I usually take time for. And I don't like to do artist dates. Like, I don't like to think that I should be doing artist dates while I'm at home, because that's like a slippery slope. But this week, that's what it had to be. So that's what it is. And I'm really enjoying myself. I decided to listen to some Bauhaus while I did this, which I feel like really goes with the theme of the colors that I'm using, if that gives you any hints. But it's been really soothing. I feel like Bauhaus is sort of like hauntingly soothing anyway. But I loved painting with the acrylic paints. It was so... I just felt cool, especially because I did it on the floor. So it made me feel very artsy. You know, I'm painting on the floor. I'm barefoot. I have like an old bed sheet laid out. And, you know, I'm mixing colors on... Well, I was using paper plate because I don't have like a palette or whatever. But I'm mixing colors with the brushes. And I just was living my little artist fantasy. It was so cute. But yeah, that's what I did for my artist date. I didn't pull any cards this time or anything because I was at home. Usually when I go outside of my house, I am always going to pull cards because I want to know like what energies are even around, because that can also filter what messages I get while I'm there, what epiphanies I get when I'm there, you know, things like that. But yeah, I'm ready for week 6. Week 6 is going to be good, and I'm going to stay on track. I don't want to fall behind because I also don't like waiting too long in between recording videos, because then I start feeling like weird about recording again. And it's just crazy how fast that happens. I'm like, damn. So in order for me to get comfortable recording regularly, I need to record and post like what, twice a week or some shit? because even once a week feels like it's barely making the cut. I don't know. I don't know if this video was even like a proper summary or not, but I've been enjoying the journey. You guys got to see me break down and cry, so at least you're getting something there. And I'll see you guys for week 6.